Hello and welcome back to Apolla's Odyssey. Tonight I am in the new studio, so let me know if you hear everything okay, see everything okay, that I'm still kind of working out the kinks with the setup here. Basically what happened with this whole studio situation is, because I know you all have been watching, I did have a studio. I was in the studio and then I wasn't in it and now I am again. Basically what happened with that was, it's a long story, but I kind of got screwed in the situation I was in with some people. So I had to kind of move to a different unit in the same building and lost a lot of money in the situation, and it was kind of, we gotta do some soundproofing in here. Someone said it sounds like a big empty room. I think the issue is my mic is too far away. I don't know if you can hear that, if that sounds a little better. And Doc Skinner is going to be on here tonight, so excited to have him on. But for right now, I'm going to hang out with you guys and just let you know what's all going on with this new studio situation. So basically, like I was saying, kind of got screwed in the situation. So if any of you would love to donate out of the kindness of your heart to help me, I will post the PayPal donate link right here. Because also, besides just kind of getting screwed out of some money with this whole situation, also I really need to get some equipment to set this up. I want to make like a control panel desk thing with obviously this is like a spaceship. Like this is my spaceship, right? So this is my Barbarella spaceship, and I want to make like a control panel desk thing. I need to get a little bit more equipment. So besides just donating, also if you want to help me out with that, is just purchase my art. I have lots of great art up on shamanspears.com. These are Orgonite brass knuckles. I have 2 of these left. I have Orgonite pyramids I've been working on. They're pretty cool. And by the way, I made these all myself. Also, I just put up these amazing Orgonite necklaces. I have tons of them up there. There's one collection that's called Orgonite daggers, and they have mostly black tourmaline and quartz in them. Also, I have what I like to call the initiation key necklace collection, and these ones are really freaking sweet. And these are Orgonite, by the way, also. So this has crushed fluorite and moldavite. If you don't know what moldavite is literally from a crashed spaceship. So I've been told, but it could also just be from like a crashed asteroid or something like that. So I don't know. I've heard it both ways, but it was found in the Czech Republic. So if you don't know what moldavite is, also they all have quartz crystals wire wrapped on the back of them. And I call them initiation keys because I feel like every time I have people on my show, or I get interviewed, or I'm interviewing someone on my show, there's kind of this cool thing that happens where it's like we kind of like tend to like unlock things in each other, so we can like kind of bring out like a lot of times I have like breakthroughs while on a show, either getting interviewed on another show or on my own show. So I really have been obsessed with the idea of initiation keys lately, and I found this really amazing mold that has like several different kinds of keys in it. So all the keys that are up on shamanspears.com right now, all the initiation key necklaces are all completely different and unique, but they almost all have crushed fluorite and moldavite in them. So pretty cool. So definitely check that out. Help me out with my new studio situation, and that would be really awesome. Besides that, I have 2 shaman spears up on there right now. So it's been exciting, and it's been a lot of work getting this situation together, but it's coming together, and I believe as long as I can get enough together by the end of this month, I'll have this whole control panel set up. And by the time it's finally all together and I'm able to get a little bit more equipment, then I'm going to be able to actually do some edited, more well thought out things. Like I've heard some people comment before, like, hey, like your stuff isn't, some of like her stuff isn't super well thought out. And, I'm working on that. I have to get everything together here. I'm just a starving artist here in LA. So all the donations you guys give me really helps out. So thanks so much for everyone that's bought spears so far. And the Honesty collection, which is my new Shaman Spears collection, is in the works. It'll probably take another couple of weeks or so to be out. So that's why I have all these other items to purchase on my site in the meantime. But once I have this all together, I'm thinking it should be by the end of the month, then I will actually do some more well thought out shows that are edited. I have a documentary I want to make, and I also have a couple different series ideas that I want to shoot. So I'm really excited for them. And like I said, it's going to take getting some more equipment and just a few more things together, and I should be able to finally do all of that. I had this awesome name sign. I wasn't able to put it up yet. I have to figure out how to attach this behind me, but it's pretty sweet. I'm excited about it. Alien Girl, no, my Tucker Carlson spear did not sell yet. I'm thinking about putting this right here. I actually, like I said, I need to get a control panel desk. So once this is zoomed out a little more, I think it should work out. I don't know if I'll be able to put this up here, maybe right behind me. I mean, what do you guys think? I'm like listening to like your ideas here. Like, should I have it right here? Or do you think that blocks the window too much? Once I have this zoomed out, I mean, this is actually a huge wall here. So maybe I can have it more up here once I actually have, like, I literally have my laptop and my webcam on a ladder right now. So yeah, I'm running tonight's show from a ladder. So yeah, no, like Booty Classes says, duh, right behind you. But no, like literally the camera's gonna be from a different angle. This is a huge set. So I'm hoping like, once I have a setup to put the camera on and a setup to put my laptop on, I think maybe I'll put it right here so it doesn't cover the window of my spaceship. And yeah, like I said, it'll be kind of zoomed out a little more here. But I really like the way the lights hit it. Looks really sick. But I'm thinking about also maybe putting like LED lights behind it. So sorry, I'm just like, rambling right now, but I'm trying to pass the time till Doc gets on here. Doc's running a little late here, but I love just hanging out and talking with you guys. So like I said, I just want to keep this here right now. But, if you guys have any comments, like anything you want me to fix with the show, if things don't sound right, don't look right, or like certain guests you want me to have on, anything, please feel free to, mention it in the comments, or thanks City L for the donation. Thanks so much. Much appreciated. But yeah, so let me know in the comments or on my website, ApollaAsteria.com. You can find the message contact section and contact me and let me know also. Man, this looks so good. I wish I could have hung it up. It's kind of bland right now behind me without it. I didn't even see what that looks like on the screen yet. It's freaking sweet. Okay. But yeah, so like I said, just trying to pass the time till Doc gets on here. So does anyone have anything you want to talk about for a little bit? Just letting you all know, Doc. So Doc, who I'm going to have on here. Oh, he's here right now. Well, basically, he's the founder of Disclosurecon, which I'm going to be speaking at in October, and he is my fellow reporter with ThirdPhaseOfMoon. So let's bring him on here. He's on now.
Howdy. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are.
Good morning. Good evening to you. Maybe good morning to you. It's evening to me, I guess.
Oh, no, I say that for everybody around the world. I'll say like good evening. Good
morning,
right.
I
mix it up like a shell game every show, just to kind of mess with people. I think they're going to know what I'm going to say next, but I like a shell game. So, how are you, dear?
I'm good. I'm set up in the new studio here, and it's awesome. I'm digging it.
Yeah, it looks great.
I don't know if you saw like while logging on, but I got this name sign. Gotta put it behind me right here, figure out how to attach it, but I like it.
No, that sign is fantastic. I mean, it's perfect for you. And yeah, directly behind you, if you've got a beam or anything you can hang from the ceiling, you can sit there and float. But I totally agree with you. Get some of that LED string and tape it or glue it to the back along the letters. And if you have it close to the wall, it'll create that beautiful glow. So right there, I agree. Go for it.
Awesome. Yeah, I don't have a beam to hang it from, so it's concrete in here. But you know what's funny? Okay. This studio is actually practically right across from the Communist News Network in Hollywood.
No,
isn't that hilarious?
Really? That's awesome.
Really? Yeah, this building actually like iHeartRadio has their kind of production studio in here, their offices here, and I believe Will Ferrell runs his podcast out of here. There's a lot of interesting things going on in this building. So
Funny or Die? The Funny or Die channel? Or
Funnier. I said, oh, are you talking about Will Ferrell's channel?
Yeah. What
I don't know what his channel is.
College Humor.
Oh, is that what it's called? Humor. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Anyway,
someone just
that
told
is crazy. You were like in the mix.
Yeah.
You know what?
I'm literally right across from the Communist News Network.
Wow. And you know what? These mics actually sound a lot sexier the closer you get. So
yeah, I don't have a setup to hold my mic up right now. So
well,
does it sound better if it's closer right here?
Well, not if you're eating it. There you go.
I know there's a bit of an echo because I don't have like soundproofing up in here yet. It's a big like concrete. Yeah, no, you got
that's the Shure microphone, correct? Is that a Shure microphone?
Samsung.
Oh, Samsung. Okay. Yeah. They're really good. Those are ones that are good for a distance, but yeah, with concrete around you, you're going to get the echo from a distance. So, yeah, I know you got a good mic. So, some styrofoam on the walls never hurts, or blankets, mattresses, all kinds of things you could put, and that'll help damper that. But yeah, you got your studio. It kind of looks like a Stargate. The way you have it set up.
It does, right? Like at first I was like,
window.
At first I was like, oh, this is my spaceship. Then I start realizing, I don't know what it was, but then I start realizing that it looks like a Stargate. I'm like, dude, this is freaking sweet. But like with my desk, the rest of my setup, I want to get like a kind of like a control panel looking thing. Like I want to get like a desk right here and just get a bunch of like junky like tech equipment from like a thrift store or something and put it on the desk. Like I'm like piloting my spaceship when I'm running the show.
That's I normally I'm on my spaceship, but I was running late. I missed the docking bay, and it's a lot of fun. It's so much fun to have your own ship. But it's funny because the first Disclosurecon, my first intention was to build a Stargate for the entrance, and then I realized how much work would go into it. I was like, I don't have time.
But it's still something I would really like to do.
And since you're in Hollywood And since you're in Hollywood, I'm sure you'll probably have some, special effects people out there. What I really would like to do is have that built. And of course, the bottom will be metal, what's the word I'm looking for? Walkways that are metal grids, kind of like on an escape. What are those things on the side of buildings? Escape ladders. Anyway, I can't think of what those platforms are you walk on. Anyway, you have that, but underneath it, you have a pool of water, right? And that's connected to a pump that goes up to misters all the way around the ring to about this, from the top down here, spraying a really fine mist. And then you have a projector on the other side projecting into those water droplets, and it creates a holographic effect. And when you walk through, you get a nice little breeze of damp fog. But yeah, that's how I think for Disclosurecon events.
That would be sweet.
Yeah,
for everyone out there that's watching the show tonight, Disclosurecon last year was probably like my best time of the whole year. Or not this last year was COVID, but the year before.
I know, I was gonna say, I love how everybody always skips a year.
Yeah, it's like last year just didn't exist. Just cancel it. Cancel.
Yeah.
But I guess 2 years ago, Disclosurecon was really freaking cool, and it was probably my best time of the entire year. For sure. I had an amazing time there, and I cannot wait to go back.
Well, you'll be in for a big treat this year, because we're going to do something special for all the speakers. And the day before, I'm going to take you all hostage for a day, and we're going to do some fun stuff. Yes. But since we're talking about that, we'll get this out of the way before we go into everything else. Okay, shameless self-promotion. So yes, we got DCon 2021 or DCon 3D, and it's the third Disclosurecon, which is held October 2nd and 3rd, Saturday and Sunday, at the Honda Casino Resort. And that's not like the car, it's HON-DAH. It's the Apache Reservation Casino, and it's a huge hall, big hall. It's like 9,000 square feet. And we'll have vendors, we'll have the presenters there. You'll be able to meet them, get their books, autographs, photos, whatever you want, and hear them speak. And for VIP pass holders, that's where the fun is. One, you get in early both days before we open to the public. You get a really cool goodie bag. You also get, I just popped my knuckle. You also get, to go to the VIP only after party both nights, and you get to be a participant in a fireside chat on Sunday night with all of the speakers around a fire. So you can, ask questions, have conversations. It's very intimate, and it's always a success. First year we had, I think Travis Walton, it was Travis. He pulled out a guitar, and we all started singing. It was a lot of fun. So, and it's a beautiful, beautiful mountain. When people hear Arizona, they think desert and cactus. Yes, we do have that, but we're about 8,500 feet above sea level. Pine trees as far as you can see. We've got bears and oh crap, what are they called? we have these big. They're like deer, but they look like horses.
Moose.
Like Clydesdale horses. Yeah, and they tell you up here that they're called elk. And,
Wait, no way! You guys have those there?
Oh no! Let me tell you the elk story. So I'm driving to work when I was working at the local radio station up here, and these later I find out elk come jumping over the fence over the main road. And I swear to God, I thought I was in Jurassic Park because they were almost as big as my Jeep Cherokee. And I freaked out. So I'm running into the station. They're live on the air. And I'm like, oh my God, dinosaur. And they're like, what? These things could have crushed my car. And they're like, well, what were they? I was like, the big Clydesdale things with horns, but without the horns. And that's those are because those aren't horns. And he told me what they're called, but I was like, okay, well, they were big. And he goes, those are called cows. And I'm like, no. I'm from Texas. I know what a cow is. That was not a effing cow. And I got reprimanded for saying that on the air. But we have a lot of elk when we've got Bigfoot. And of course, anybody that knows the story about Travis Walton, that happened up here. So he's actually going to be at the event. Ooh, hold on, that elk story just winded me. Remember, we're at a high altitude here.
You
and we got
mentioned
Bigfoot. Yes, I actually.
Yeah, you had the castings for.
I have 3 of them. Yes, 2 of them from supposedly from the Apache reservation up here, and one from up in the mountains on the border of California and Oregon. That's all I know about it. A man passed away in February. Gifted it to a friend. Friend was like, I don't know what to do with these. Would you like them? And I'm like, yeah. So we'll have them on display at Disclosurecon as well.
Joseph Korea wants to know if Sasquatch will be attending.
That was actually brought up in discussions because each year I have an amazing volunteer team that take nothing and create amazing things. We built the entire interior, well, not the entire, but the interior set of the lounge quarter area with a round checkerboard from the Millennium Falcon and Star Wars. And so people could get their photos in there and stuff. And then the second year we did a Spider-Man wall, which was a 30-foot wide, 10-foot deep brick laid on top stage. And it had cutouts of the windows so people could put their heads through, and their friend could be on the wall on their knees, take a picture, and put it sideways. It looks like they're crawling up a wall. So it was a cool illusion. And this year, I don't know what we're going to do. Who knows? Actually, no. I do have an idea. Yes, I did bring this up with, who was it? Was it Laura Eisenhower? Had a late night call with her last night because she's on board. She was at the last one. She was like, I can do it. I can do this. So I was like, boom, let's squeeze her in. So let me go down the list real quick. We'll knock this out because I know people are wanting to hear alien stuff. We have this beautiful young talent who's going to start off the event. Her name is Apolla Asteria. And so you got to get there early. They're going to be 2 very long days. And you want to get your money's worth. So get there early on Saturday morning. Doors open. I'm sorry. If you go to disclosurecon.com, all the information will be over there, but it's either 9 or 9:30 because I had to shift it, but in the morning. So that's when the doors open. VIPs get in half an hour early. And then we've got Jim Goodall, who I think you've had on your show.
Yeah, I did an interview with him a week ago. Maybe it was a week and a half ago at this point. And that interview was beyond amazing. I really enjoyed the discussion. He didn't come on until an hour in. So if anyone hasn't seen that, wants to go back and look, just if you want to fast forward through me talking, just go about an hour in. He comes on and man, the discussion we had was really beyond incredible.
He's had an amazing life. He's got to do some things that we would only see in movies.
It's like he was like always been in the right place at the right time with like certain people. It's like almost like he has this like destiny to meet these different people at this different times in his life.
Here's the funny thing is he didn't know that he was known when I met him 2.5-3 years ago at the UFO Congress thing in Phoenix. And Jeremy Corbell was there premiering Bob Lazar, his documentary. And so I was covering for a friend who had a booth at the event, she was a podcaster at the time. And she goes, well, I want to go so I can interview, Jeremy Corbell. I'm like, all right, cool. And I realized I was the only person that was all by my lonesome in the vending room. Everybody went to go see this. And I'm just sitting there, because I said I'd watch the booth. And all of a sudden, here comes this guy shuffling up. He's like, looking at me. He's looking at the sign on the wall. He's like, so what's this booth all about? I told him, well, this is for my friend, Natasha Nix for Mysterious Forces Live podcast. But she's in the other room, so I'm just watching the booth. And he's like, oh, okay. Well, I'm Jim Goodall. And I said, oh, well, I'm Doc Skinner. And he goes, nice to meet you. And I said, would you like to tell me a story? Because we had some time. So he sat down And he's said this on other shows, which is just it makes me melt every time. I just want to tear up because it's just the nicest thing. He says, he goes, when I first met Doc, it was like meeting an old friend, and it's just like, oh. But he's become like one of my best friends. The guy drove up here to the mountain from Tucson, like a 4-hour drive in his black Corvette to help me move into this house. He's just one of those golden people that if you have the pleasure of befriending, you hold on to him forever. And so he's going to be at DCon, and he's going to be speaking after you, actually. And then we also have Brooks. I'm sorry if I've got everything on my magic board here, so I don't forget anybody. We've got Brooks Agnew. Have you had Brooks on your show?
Yeah, well, there was like a mix-up because of the time change. He thought he was supposed to be on at one time, but it was actually a different time. It was right after the whole DC fiasco back in February.
Right. Yeah.
So like I was set up to have him on, and then he didn't come on, and we're going to talk about the whole DC fiasco. And then so I just ended up bringing on everyone that was a part of that fiasco with me, and then he ended up tuning in a little bit later on. So I actually need to go back and do a show with just him. But I've been on his show a lot of times before.
Yeah. Totally. We also have your good friend Laura Eisenhower. She'll be speaking, and then hopefully
she'll get her tour bus together, and we can drive
it
out here together.
Well, let's just say this: she's scheduled to appear. If you really want to see her, get in contact with her, because she's going to try to raise money so she can get a tour bus. She, like so many, are like airlines,
and I'm going to paint it.
Yes, and Apolla's going to paint it, and it's going to be a glamorous rainbow love hippie festival on wheels. And
I'm going to make it a modern version of a hippie bus, so I might just paint spaceships on it or something.
Absolutely,
like some aliens.
Well, you know what you need. You know how they have the little family members on the back of their car. She'd have like aliens on the side. Have different ones.
Oh, that would be so cool.
Yeah. So anyway, so Laura will be here. Fingers crossed. And she even said, I was like, oh, hitchhike. I was like, we'll get you here. We have Mike Barra from Ancient Aliens on the History Channel. He's going to be joining us again. Travis Walton from the movie Fire in the Sky, not the actor. Actually, did you know that Travis Walton is actually in the movie Fire in the Sky?
I heard that, yeah.
For those that like the movie, and you have it, or you want to watch it, this is where you need to find Travis Walton. It's during the scene when the town is in the church, and Mike and the other loggers, they come in, hearing them say, oh my God, we want to know where Travis is. Well, his back is to the camera, but if you can spot him out, he's got lamb chops, a brown leather hippie vest, and he's very hippied out, but he's there. And so if you really want to find one of those things and film like people do, that's there you go. There's a little bit of inside information. So he'll be here. You can meet him, shake his hand, get his autograph. And you didn't get to meet Trev. He wasn't at last year's because he was on a cruise thing. But have you met Travis anywhere, Apolla?
I don't, I've been to so many conferences, I probably have run into him at some point. I don't really know what he looks like. So I need to
go to the website. Go to Disclosurecon.com, and you can see photos of everybody.
Awesome.
And he is just an amazing man. I really feel that everybody I'm going to be reading, it's like just hit it out of the park. So Mike Barra, Travis Walton, we got Rex Bear from the Leak Project. We've got Christopher LaPrath, who is world famous psychic. He's also psychic to royal family members, including like in Saudi Arabia and stuff. Yeah, he's pretty awesome. So he's going to be speaking. And then we've got Blake and Brent Cousins from Third Phase. We'll be talking about them in a bit. They're going to be here from Hawaii. And we've got the X-Man, John D'Souza. veteran of the FBI, 25 years in. He worked the special unit that everybody scoffed and made fun of. And he had what's called an OTB book, an off the books book. It's like a diary for an FBI agent. And he wrote about all of these cases that he worked on that were like way out there, right? And it was stolen from him by another former FBI agent that was a consultant in Hollywood. And he gave that book to Chris Carter. And Chris Carter used that diary for the entire first season of the X-Files. And it was so like, no, you shouldn't have had that. The FBI went after John because they're like, well, what are you selling all this for? Why are you making money? He was like, no, this was stolen. And they went to court, Chris Carter and John D'Souza up at the FBI and Hollywood. And they said, you can't use that anymore. And John D'Souza won. And so he's known as the X-Man, the original Fox Mulder, and he will be there. And our dear friend, we all know Ben Chastain, right? Well, he's going to be not only there, he's going to be emceeing Disclosurecon 2021.
He said he was going to do that? Did you guys talk to him?
I cornered him, and I told him he had no choice.
Nice.
Oh, no, we did. I talked to him today earlier. So, yeah, he was just excited. He just wanted to be here. And I was like, well, I'm going to let you do something. I said, I don't have any more speaking spots, but how would you like to be the MC? And so he was like, okay, cool. So there we are. So Ben Chastain will be here as well. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. All right.
I'm excited. It sounds like all my favorite people in one place, just like 2 years ago. And yeah, I haven't had that since then. I was like all my favorite people in one place like 2 years ago. And then I didn't really get to see most of those people again after that. So I'm excited for
that's why I'm hijacking you all the day before so that we can all hang out. Because it's gonna be a busy day. It'll be a busy day. We're gonna have lunch breaks, we're gonna have breaks in between. So nobody will be on top of each other, speaking wise. And we're gonna have some great vendors. Everybody, Paul, I'm sure everybody's going to be doing their own little podcast. Shaman Spears, yes, yeah. She's going to have her booth set up in the main, not the main room, but the main room for the booths, which will be all the speakers and our main sponsors. So, yeah, it's awesome. So go to disclosurecon.com, disclosurecon.com, and you can get your tickets today. And the VIP passes, you can get them. And let me tell you, there's going to be some really cool goodies. I can't say what it is yet, but yeah, it's totally worth it.
Hey, we got a few questions from the audience here about the event.
Let's go. Let's roll.
God asks, are you going to try to summon some aliens at the event?
It's not on the schedule, but it's not that it doesn't happen. Usually there's somebody that's trying to summon them. So, and I'm not going to say weird stuff doesn't happen. The first year, 2018, all right, we didn't realize this till after the fact, but, someone was like, dude, I know that person. They were at Disclosurecon. I talked to them, We had, here, let's just show you this real quick. Okay, I'm going to turn this around. This is my cheat sheet. So when I run out of ideas on conspiracies, this is what I look at every night. And it goes, this is 6 foot by 4 feet, right? And it was like artwork by Dylan Monroe. And we had it all set up. Here we go. Move that way. And one of the producers of the show was talking to this gentleman in a fedora with a scruffy beard or a scruffy face. And she didn't realize until I showed her some stuff on the 17 letter thing. And she goes, I know that guy. He was at Disclosurecon. Vincent Fusco was at Disclosurecon the first year. Then the second year, okay, we had, and I do a costume contest. It's like sci-fi and sci-reality collide on one roof. So it's like, history, an alien convention, and then a Comic-Con.
Wait, I didn't know this.
Oh, but you are always dressed up, so of course.
Can I come dressed as Barbarella this year?
This isn't all ages
I'm not. I'm
event.
just.
It's an all. I know you. Plus, it could be.
Yeah.
It would be chilly up here by then. So, but yeah, no, it's yeah, damn it, girl, you said Barbarella. I'm looking at you, and I'm like, ah. So what was I talking about?
Well, we have the after parties, right? You're gonna.
Right.
I think you were about to mention the
yes. Oh yeah.
person who showed up in the horns.
Right. So we have a costume contest, and I believe me, this year's gonna be different. I'm like paying people to do stuff instead of me trying to do everything, sound and security and all that stuff. And so people are in costume. This guy comes up to me and goes, "Hey man, are you Doc Skinner?" I'm like, yeah, hi. And he's like, "Hey man, I really like this thing you got going on. It's pretty cool." I'm like, "Thank you." Because and I looked at him. The next thing out of my mouth was, "Hey man, I think you're gonna win. Gotta go." And I thought he was there for the costume contest. It was the dude they busted at the Capitol with the horns and the flag. He was here at Disclosurecon, the second one. So who's gonna be at DCon 3D?
Dude, I saw him at like several events after that too. I saw him at the Save the Children rallies and here in Hollywood, like 2 of them, I believe, and talked to him. And then I talked to him right before the whole thing in DC, like in DC. And like it was so we were I don't know what the deal is with that guy. Like, do you think he was like planning to be at your event somehow? Like,
well, I know he's from Arizona.
Yeah, so he was probably just like the closest event, that was around that had.
Well, yeah, and it was, you gotta understand, Disclosurecon is the first of its kind, colliding sci-fi and sci-realities. They've always been separated, and so it got a lot of notice the first 2 years. And this one, with the lineup, God, I know it's going to start snowballing. There's only going to be 200 VIP passes that are going to be given out, or not given out, but sold. So if you want to do that and you want to spend time with all of us, like the inner sanctum, and see how we get down on Saturday and Sunday night. Oh, also we're going to have Michael Osodona is going to be performing. I don't know how to describe it, but he performs, but there's 4 of him behind him and an alien drummer, or 3 of him and then an alien drummer.
What?
That's all I can say. Yeah. So that's going to be on the Sunday night VIP party. He'll go for like an hour. Then by that time the alcohol will have kicked in, and then DJ will come, just bust it out. And let me tell you, Jim Goodall is like John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever. Oh my God, I'm telling you.
What?
You don't remember that? Oh well, you probably didn't.
I was dancing in an alien costume at the last one all night, so
you were
I was a bit distracted. Me and Ben Chastity and Rob came out too. Right? Yeah, we were all dancing in alien costumes at one point.
It was brilliant. But this time we're going to document everything. I got a film crew, so
cool.
it's gonna it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good, and we're gonna give a big group photo.
Someone here asked what horn guy.
Oh, the guy that
with the blue and white face, yeah, from that whole fiasco in DC. Sure. That guy, you know who we're talking about. You have to know.
Right. So yeah. It's a great time. It's a great time. And tickets are on sale now. You go to disclosurecon.com, hit that buy tickets now. It'll tell you, if you want to get a day ticket, weekend pass, or the VIP pass, which covers the weekend.
Also, a few more questions here. Someone said, Sinister says, best route from this to Disclosurecon from Chicago. But a little before he asked, what's the nearest airport? So the nearest airport is Phoenix, right?
No. Well, okay, so if you're going to fly and you're from out of Arizona, fly into Phoenix, and then you want to get a what we call a puddle jumper ticket on Boutique Airlines. I think they're a branch of Delta, and they're little small planes. And unless you want to rent a car and drive up, the drive is beautiful. It's 3 hours from Phoenix to Pinetop, Arizona, up here in the White Mountains. We're like the bottom of the Rocky Mountains in Arizona. And if you don't want to do the drive, you can fly on boutique airs from Phoenix up to Sholo Airport, and then you can rent a car, and it's like, I think, 20 minutes from the airport, and it's a beautiful drive there too. So book your hotels either at the Honda Casino or at the Green Tree Inn in Pinetop. They're our sponsors, and just tell them you're going to Disclosurecon. So,
and someone else wanted to know what the COVID restrictions are like. They asked if there was going to be a passport thing, and I don't think that's going to be the case with you.
No, it's
no.
This is Arizona. Well, actually, we're the altitude. It's the altitude. People just have a different mindset, but no, everybody's good up here. Everybody's good. I mean,
I wish we had a bit more of an altitude here. That's funny. That's a different way of saying like higher vibration, like awake, like higher altitude people.
I'm from Dallas. Okay, I'm Dallas Fort Worth, and I grew up in the city. Worked at the theme parks. That's how I got in the entertainment industry. And when I go back, it's not that I'm proud to say I'm a Texan, but when I go back to visit the folks and whatnot, I just can't deal with it. It's too hot-headed. Everybody's in a rush, and there's always traffic. And here, traffic is like 20 cars at a light. And if you're going over, if you're going over 45, then you're probably from out of town because you just don't do that up here. So if you come up to Disclosurecon, don't drive over 45 and only 35 in Pinetop because they'll be waiting for you. So because there's not much else to do for them up here. They're waiting for those out of towners. And so yes, so get your hotels and book them now because I think you can get them if you do one of those services, TripAdvisory, it'll be a lot cheaper now. The further in advance you get them, it's going to be awesome. And the auditorium is gorgeous. And I am very, very picky on people that I invite to Disclosurecon because it's my party. I do what I want. So I make sure that people are awesome. And I think I've accumulated a cornucopia of awesomeness for this event.
I can attest to that.
Yeah. So next question.
Someone else asked, Alien Girl, I believe back here. She asked when is it again?
October 2nd. And it's October 2nd and 3rd. Coming up in 6 months or something like that. So it's a Saturday and a Sunday. If you can afford it and you would like to, really be enriched with the mountain, come a day early and, go canoeing, hiking, see some really awesome nature. And there's nothing cooler than seeing a herd of elk. I'm talking 30, 40, 50 of them running over the road and, the fence and jumping. You just sit there and you're just in awe. Now that I had after my first encounter, of course, now I just, okay, those are elk.
I didn't see an elk last time I was there, but me and Laura Eisenhower and Ben Chastain did go through an interdimensional portal at one point in the forest near our cabins. Yeah, you know what? Wow. Okay, I don't know if I ever told you this story. Discuss. Okay, so me and Laura went somewhere to get food, I believe, that night. And then, but we all three of us, we went to get food and we just went on a walk away from our cabins in the woods. And we when we were coming back, we could not find this cabin anywhere. And we're lost in the woods and we're going in circles for hours, just tripping over ourselves, bushes and everything. And then Laura loses her phone and we're just where the hell did this go? I swear
this is crazy you're saying that.
And then we're just literally, it's we swear we walked through an interdimensional portal because we're in this alter shadow realm for like hours. And then finally we just end up at the cabin. And I'm like, dude, I swear to God, we walked by here like 5 times. Like there's no way we could have missed this. And it was just hilarious. Like we're like, dude, how did that happen? And then we weren't gonna find our phone until the next morning.
Well, here's a crazy thing now that you've said that, because it's been kind of, because of COVID, everything, it's kind of been slow. But this summer, I want to be a little more active. I run the White Mountain Rando Nautica group, and if you don't know what Rando Nautica, it's this app that works with AI and a quantum laser-driven computer at a university in Australia.
Whoa!
And I interviewed one of the like the co-owners or co-presidents or something. Her name was Audrey, and it basically came to me. This is how I see it. This app was like a search engine for the Matrix. Okay, can I get deep for like 2 minutes?
Please
check this out. This app, you don't type anything in. You download it on your phone, and you think of an intention. Like, do you want to see something beautiful that's all purple, or you just find something that's color purple, or do you want to find something? It's you think of what you're looking for, like a lot, like lost money. Okay, you think lost money, for example, right? And you don't even say anything. You just think it, and you hit search, and within seconds it gives you coordinates to a location within a set parameter of distance from where you are that you set up in the settings. And people are like finding stuff at the exact locations where they're being told to go.
Wait, is it like a random generator type thing?
It is a quantum laser driven computer random generator thing. Yes.
Whoa.
And it is crazy because it was originally invented or created, the algorithm and all that, for, walking off the beaten path and explore areas you've never been before. It was just a thing to kind of get you to go more of it, on an explorer route instead of the daily mundane things. But then there were some kids that downloaded the app, and what do kids like to do? They like to get scared. So they say, find us something evil, or find us ghosts or stuff like that. And it will take them to these like haunted places or cemeteries or places where there was a murder or something. I mean, every time. And so, but people were like finding money. And then there was this one TikTok video, and this is what just overnight during the beginning of the COVID summer made this thing like huge. 4 kids were looking for something crazy, and it took them to the a pier by the ocean, and there was all these rocks, these big boulder rocks underneath the pier, and there was a suitcase, and they went to it, and they realized it smelled really bad, and so they called the cops. The cops came, and there was 2, a man and a woman who were chopped up and put into this briefcase in a bag. And that video went viral. So now all the ghost hunter podcast shows and people that are just out for their EBGB factor use this. And then they do these podcasts. And there's, for example, there was one with a group of girls where they're going out for something spooky, and they end up driving all the way out in the middle of nowhere, right? And they stop, and they're like, okay, we're here. What's going on? What's going on? And then some guy comes running over the hill at them, right? And they're freaking out. And he's running towards the car. And they well, yeah, that's somebody's private property, dummy. You're on someone's property. They're chasing you off. But they're thinking that this app is hooked up to the Illuminati. And they have people stationed all over the world so that when you do it, they send you to a location where they've already have a briefcase or a wallet or something scary, or, a satanic ritual ceremony in the middle of the woods. I mean, it's weird. It's weird, but this is, and I don't think she thought about this, because I think I kind of made her go, that's an interesting concept. Everything, if we are in a matrix, okay, I'm not saying absolute yes or no, we are. We're talking hypothetically, okay? If we're in a matrix, let's say, that means we're all code, right? That means everything around me, everything you see, every video, every photo, the glass, the lanyards, the door, the curtain, everything has its own code with a thumbprint, which is its identity. So I said, what about this app being a Google search for the Matrix? You want to look for money, it's going to find you a
I was
missing
just gonna
wallet.
ask that. I'm like, you said people are asking for like evil places or something. Like, why not ask it like for like a happy place or like a bunch of money? Can you find money on it?
People have. It's just, but fear, EBGB factor is what gets more views and what sells. And I told that to Audrey. She does this video where she was thinking about purple, and they ended up going to a house that had purple flowers. And so they went up, and the old lady came out, and they started talking, and they told her what they were doing, that they're on this little scavenger hunt to find something purple. And she goes, really? Come with me. And she shows them her backyard, and it's this huge purple fairyland, with gnomes coming out of the trees and the fence and all this. And they had this great talk, and they would meet people along the way on their little adventures, because they were looking for things positive, happiness, joy, things like that. Whereas these other kids who are like, oh, let's go fight death, man. Well, damn it, you ask, you will find. It's like a freaking Ouija board, but it, in a Matrix sense. So
Wait, what's this app called again?
Rando Nautica.
Rando Nautica.
Yeah, let me get the exact name here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We started talking about this because I was saying that I got lost in alternate dimension.
Yes. Thank you. I was off. Oh, okay. So when we were doing one of our little things up here, me and my friends, we asked for a portal, a Stargate. And it was over in the area where you were.
No way.
Yes.
Oh my God. Like right by there, like that area, that exact area?
It's because it's just like, I think a quarter of a mile from there is Indian reservation land, the Apache reservation. So, and I've been told that there are also Stargates on the Apache reservation as well. So I would not be surprised.
The Western United States. From like some research I've done, I've seen a ton of documentaries on like the Southwest United States has so many places like that are like interdimensional portal type places because of like, I don't know. It's just like there's some crazy energy out in that area.
Here's a firsthand another experience. So I was with some friends and I was kind of hostage because it was their Polaris, and that's a really cool thing up here. This time of year, you'll see ATV, four-wheeler ATVs and Polarises and all them just driving everywhere because you can do that. It's awesome. Just right on the road. It's cool. But we went driving and I shouldn't have said it happens every time. It doesn't happen every single time because you have to be in the right mindset. But we were kind of having a bum day where we just kept going. We weren't finding anything. And the sun was down. And they have rules to play the game or to use the app, and nobody, of course, follows them. But it's always do it with friends and never do it at night because your mind can play tricks on you. So the girls who were driving, they're like, "We want to do one more." I was like, "Nope, sun's going down. Come on, we've been doing all this pauses. Let's do something creepy." I'm like, "Fine, all right, think, and I'll hit send." So they thought of what they wanted, and I hit send, and it went like 3 seconds and popped up a GPS, and I'm like, okay. So and it also puts it into your GPS on your phone, so it'll drive you there, so you don't have to retype it all, which is kind of cool. And so we did it, and we didn't know where we were going, but it was like 2.5 minutes down the road. We get there, and they wanted what they manifested. They thought of was evil, right? So we pull down the street, and we get to the address, which was 665, and across the street was 666.
Oh my God, that's insane.
I said, we going home now. I'm not playing no more. So yeah, be careful, folks. Be positive if you do the Rando Nautica thing. If you want dark stuff, you're going to get it. It's like, just like it says, like a Ouija board. Joseph says Rando Nautica, it's essentially a divination tool. yeah, in a Matrix world. And then of course, Dagger Spells is installing now. So anyway, all right, so that's cool. So people just that don't know about Rando Nautica, now you do. If you watch the videos, keep in mind those are idiots. And people that are like, they have people waiting to chase us. No, those are property owners, you idiot. So just play smart. If if you do play it, one of the rules is be wary of property lines, fences, beware signs. Don't cross them. It's not worth it. Yeah. So there. That's it. All right. Sorry, your show. Moving on.
So our topic tonight was alien encounters. You said you had an alien encounter experience.
Yes.
Would you like to talk about that?
No.
You don't want to talk about it.
I'm kidding. No, it was. No, I've wanted to do hypnotherapy to unlock to see if there was anything else.
I would like to do that too.
Okay, because I did not see anybody, no beings, but it's something that baffled my dad for decades. We'll just leave it at that. So I'll catch up to that in a second. So, and I'll drag this on and be as dramatic as possible for the viewers. I was 3 years old, and my father was in the Air Force, flew 238s and C-130s, and was stationed at Mather Air Force Base in Sacramento. And my house, I remember the street it was on, Starino Way in Sacramento, and I don't remember the address, but it was a 2-story house, the garage with a bedroom above the garage, and then the parents' bedroom, master room was in the back, facing the backyard. And anyway, so I'm asleep, and I'm woken up, and I get up out of bed. Kind of, when I think of it, it makes me think of the little boy from Close Encounters, because I looked like that when I was that age. And I think that's why I connect with that movie. Anyway, moving on. So I get up and I look out the window, and it's broad daylight, and I see my grandmother. There we go. I feel like Max Headroom was just my head. It was bad camera work. See, bears, love bears. So I just went blank. I had a stroke.
You're the boy from Close Encounters.
Okay, so I look out the window and I see my grandmother, who's now like 97, and she had this Cadillac Eldorado. No, it was like, we called it the tank, and it was big and gray metal, like a tank. So we called it a tank. And she's standing there, leaning up against her car, looking at the window. She goes, "Come on, it's time to go. It's time to go." I'm like, "Okay, Grandma." So I turn around, and I got like the, PJs and stuff, and my room is pitch dark, but my eyes were adjusted to it. So I go to the bedroom door, open it. I pass the bathroom on the left, and then there's the staircase that goes down to the entry area with the front door. And I'm standing at the top of the stairs. It's pitch black in the hallway in the whole room. And I see down below, it's like a haze machine, or one of those low-lying fog machines, like it was on the ground. And there was a shade of blue. And all I remember is I'm standing, let's see, looking at the camera. How's it going to look to you guys? All right. I was at the top step, basically. Let's leave it at that. I was at the top step, and my body just kind of went and just stopped. And my folks had just put in a swimming pool, so they had just taught me how to doggy paddle. So I'm just sitting there floating, like it feels like water, but without the water. And so I start doing the doggy paddle, and my body's just kind of going down the staircase. And I get to the floor, and my feet come to the ground. And I go to the door, grab the doorknob, and it wasn't as cool as the Close Encounter shot, I'll tell you that. It was just, I opened the doorknob, and it was a big bright white flash, and it was like whiter than white, if I could say it like that. It was just not like a bright light I've seen before, and then it was gone. I mean, it was like a big long flash and then gone. And all I know is I'm looking outside, and it's dark. There's a street lamp across the street, and there was a car there, not my grandma's. And I'm looking out, and I'm like, Grandma, Grandma, Grandma. Third one, nothing. And by this time, from silence, other than me saying Grandma, it was like you started hearing the crickets and locusts or whatever those things are in California. And I go back in, I close the front door, and I make it to about the second step on the staircase. I'm like going back to bed. And my father comes around the corner of the staircase with his rifle aimed at me. And my mom is like standing over his shoulder. And he realized, of course, I'm just like, Dad. And he put the rifle up. My mom's like, oh my God. And, they're like, what are you doing? Da, 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 da. And my mom passed off as sleepwalking. And my dad gave me a lecture about, getting up and walking around in the middle of the night. And that was it. And that was, I would have dreams of it, years going by. But then I think I was 15 or 16. My dad was a captain for Southwest Airlines. So we had passes, and every now and then we'd go on a ski trip or something. And I think we were going to Santa Fe ski resort. And on the plane, he was reading an article about the Mayan pyramids and how they were molded together with molten metal and like these hook things. And he was, just talking about it, very nonchalant. And my dad was Air Force. He had top secret clearance, I think, for a bit. I don't remember how long, but it was, he didn't talk about anything. Of course, there wasn't, ancient aliens. There wasn't Third Phase of Moon. There wasn't anything like that. There was no internet. I think the closest thing they had was Leonard Nimoy's show called In Search Of. And if you haven't seen that, you gotta check it out. Leonard Nimoy, Spock, for those that, So it was very taboo. And that was during a time when pilots, you didn't talk about that stuff or you would be grounded and you couldn't get a job flying anywhere. And that's what it was like. So back then. And so anyway, fast forward years later, I'm 15, 16 years old. We're going on a ski trip when he's talking about this on the plane. And I said, well, since you brought that up, Dad, so there's something I've wanted to ask you for years. And he goes, okay. And I said, do you remember the night you almost shot me when I was sleepwalking? He goes, oh, yes. Yes, I do. And I said, I really didn't get to tell you what happened. Can I tell you, from my side, what happened? And he was like, okay. And I told him. And I told him about the swimming and everything. And he kind of raised his eyebrow. And I'm like, okay. And, when it was all said and done, he goes, well, son, there has been something that has bugged the hell out of me ever since that happened. And I'm like, well, what? He goes, do you remember how many locks were on that door? And I was like, yeah, there was a bunch of them, like 4 or 5 of them. He goes, you were 3 feet tall. How did you get to them? He goes, because he was a security nut every night, like OCD, locked everything. And it baffled him, how did that front door open? Wow. So that was my closest thing. That's why I said I would love to do some regression therapy, but with that, you got to be very careful.
Yeah, you have to make sure it's the right people, definitely.
Or have trusted people in the room, making sure they're not doing any shenanigans up here in the noodle. So, because I know for a fact, I'm watched from July till after my event, usually about a week or 2 after my event. And that's okay. I've gotten used to it. My mom and I were, because they do this thing. And I asked John D'Souza, former FBI guy, about it. And he was like, oh yeah, you're tapped. They did this thing where my mom, just between my mom and I, where it would only allow us exactly 120-second phone call and it would click it off. So we got
No way.
for like, yeah, the first year we didn't understand what's going on. And then John was like, yeah, they're watching you. And I'm like, okay. So this year I'm going to actually have a table out. I think I'm going to put a table out with 2 chairs, have some security cameras around it, a little sign, says CIA, NSA. That way they have some chairs. They can sit down when they're tired.
You know, I've always felt like they send those kind of people into conferences. Like
Yeah.
I feel like it would be smart for them to do because they'd want to see, you know, what these people are talking about at these events, and if anyone has anything that they don't know about, it just makes sense. You know, I always kind of figured that about Contact. Like I've been going to Contact in the desert for 7 years now, and I always kind of felt like I would run into those kind of characters there.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I always thought that was interesting.
Well, wasn't there a crazy event at that Cosmic in the Desert, like black vans and Secret Service or some crazy stuff? Was there a raid or something that went on?
I don't know about that.
It was something at a convention in the desert that I heard, and they like had to cut it short. It was a couple of years. It was 2-3 years ago. Anyway, no big deal. Anyway, so
wait, you're talking about the one leak project was talking about. Rex Bear.
Oh, was it him that was there?
I think he said that it was in like Colorado that happened. Because I remember him telling me something like that. But I actually have an experience that's similar to yours that I'd like to talk about.
Yes, do please.
So I've had a lot of like UFO kind of experiences and paranormal experiences, but this is one that I haven't really talked about on my. I actually haven't ever talked about this on my show. I haven't really talked about it to many people at all, just because it's not like I really saw anything, but it's something. It's like your experience where something definitely happened, and I have no idea what it was. So basically, what happened was this was like. I think like 6-7 years ago, right when I had first moved out to LA. And at the time I was living in Woodland Hills, California, which is like kind of between like LA and Malibu, you know, or between like Hollywood and Malibu area. And like near the top of Topanga Canyon. And just randomly in the middle of the night, me and the guy I was dating at the time, we're just, you know, in our house, just hanging out. And I don't know what we were doing. I can't remember what we were doing, but you know, all the lights were off. I don't know if we were just sitting there talking like in bed or something. And all of a sudden we just hear like what sounded like a ship over the house or like helicopters or something. It sounded like we thought it was like helicopters. And we see these like tractor beam lights just going all around the house, so like in the yard and everything.
Wow.
And he goes to open the window, and then all of a sudden we both just kind of like blacked out. And next minute we're just like in the bed, and we didn't know what had happened. And we're like, wait, do you know what just happened? Like, what just happened? And it was almost like we're like, you know, we couldn't believe something that weird had happened because like it didn't make sense. It was like 1 minute we're like, he's like opens the window to look out because there's just like all this noise, these tractor beams like going around everywhere. And next minute it was like that was over and we're just like laying in bed or like, you know, and like it was just really weird. It was like, what the hell happened?
You and I, we both need to find out what happened like during that flash for me and for you with those beams. A little bit like I said, it's gotta, you know, you just got to be careful who you have do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, I've learned to just say, you know, F it. You know, it's like any other traumatic experience or possible traumatic experience that has happened in your past. You just, life goes on. It's a story to tell. But yeah.
I almost feel like that must have been a government experience, like actually, something like a military type thing.
Yeah, well, there's actually just a little extra bit to the story. When that happened to me, from that night forward, I had night terrors. I ripped my bed apart every night, sheets, pillows all over the floor, and I did that until 2002, when I got married, and my ex-wife was rubbing my back. We were laying in bed, and she found a bump on my back. So she thought it was it, and she trying to realize there's an object in there. So she got little tweezers and a needle and picked away and pulled out this tiny, tiny, tiny little like grain of rice, but it was like a weird rocky metal kind of thing.
Oh my
And
God.
we kept it in a bag, like a little Ziploc bag, and end up losing it in a move. But the night she did that was the last night I dreamt. I haven't dreamed since that night. I mean, I
No
dream all day
way.
when I'm wide awake, but when I go to sleep, I'm in and I'm out. And then I wake up and I'm usually in the same position. Yeah. And so, and
That's
I
weird.
lived a life of paranoia. I mean, I was like, Fox Mulder, I was the kooky guy. Everybody was like, what is all these conspiracies? And now they're all like cultural stories, people believe. But once that was taken out, that whole paranoia was gone. I started like growing up, doing the adult stuff, and it was just really weird. So I wish I still had that little piece, get it examined by some university or something, but c'est la vie. So yeah, that's why I think you and I, we should do that, but we have to be very, very selective on who we do it and get an audience, do it
Definitely.
live.
You know what's
Do it live.
interesting? After my experience, almost every night that summer, every night I would have like what was like, it seemed like a dream, but it seemed realer than a dream. And basically, like every night, as soon as like I fell asleep, I would be in a ship, and it was like a bunch of people in the ship. They all kind of like looked like they had lab coat type things on, or they looked like they were like scientists or something. And we would like just go to like a different like planet every single night. And this happened for like almost every night for like that whole summer. And
Wow.
I didn't know it. And this was like before I heard about the secret space program stuff or anything like that. So like, I mean, I was into like UFO stuff and everything, but and I actually didn't put two and two together till like way later. But then I started hearing about, I started hearing like, everyone's stories, all these whistleblowers coming forward. And I was like really interested in it. And then it actually took me until like a little while back to put two and two together with that. And like, so I was telling someone about it, and they're like, do you think it has something to do with that? And I'm like, I don't know, but that's interesting to think about. But like, I
Here's the
actually
thing,
wanted
Apolla.
them.
Yeah, here's the thing is you hear this kind of story from a lot of people, and some of them you fully believe them. And you are definitely one of those people because of the life you live. It's like it stems from UFOs and aliens and other worlds. I mean, the way you dress, the activities you do, and like the road trip to Area 51. By the way, Marco Apolla says, Apolla, I really enjoyed your road trip to Area.
Oh,
Any plans for another road trip? Well, I'm glad you liked that, Marco. I did that video.
yeah, Zog, you did the best job ever narrating that video and
It was
editing
so much
it. It
fun.
was great.
It was fun. It was fun. Yeah, I think you should do another one. And if you do this bus thing with Laura, seriously, by then, hopefully I could have a really good camera and make it, really legit. So, but we'll see. We'll see where fate takes us. So how I've got to flip this around. I'm so used to being the interviewer. Two show hosts.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm gonna just be quiet.
I wanted to add on to that. So what you were saying was that, like, the whole thing about putting two and two together, like that's actually exactly what Carrie Cassidy off Project Camelot told me when I was actually discussing this at a dinner table with her one night with Brad Olson, and she was like, did you ever put that together that that happened to you with that experience, and then you got interested in all this later? And I was like, no, I didn't really think about that. And she was like, no, that's okay. I mean, this actually happens to people a lot. And
it's too close to home. You don't realize it, but people on the outside do see it. Yes.
It's
I totally agree.
interesting. But one of the experiences, one of the nights in my dream, this was the most vivid one I had. I mean, it felt realer than real. we're on the ship and we go to, and it's actually interesting, like everyone else in the ship, they seemed like confused or like scared, like they didn't know why I was there, why they were there. But I
Right.
always kind of felt like I was like, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm here again. Like it was like I don't know, I felt okay with being there. And I don't know if like some of the other people didn't really seem like they were. So whatever it was, I guess I was okay with it. Like I probably was doing this a lot, and maybe I'm still doing it. I don't remember it now, but
Do you just want to come out right now and just tell everybody the truth that your family is a lineage of alien species and you're here to correct the world with joy, love,
I don't know.
and
I
good
think like
fashion?
I do things on like different levels. I think we all do,
You do.
and
Yes,
like
and that's why I
we.
love you. That's why I keep you close.
But this particular night we go to, and like I said, this is before I heard anything about any secret space program stuff. But we go to what looked like the surface of the moon, and we're coming down over it, and we go into a crater, and I don't know if it was the surface of the moon, but it looks like it. We like go down into a crater, and there's like this just kind of this glass top on the bottom of it, and we land on it, and it goes down like this into like, it turns into a platform, like a ramp underground, like the roof, like it kind of goes down like this, and it goes into a platform into like a underground thing, or like a ramp. And so we're like landed on this ramp, and we get out and we walk down the ramp, and we're in this underground like thing in the middle of the crater. And then all these like little gray aliens that are like little like 3-4 foot tall like gray aliens, they all come running up to me, and here, I gotta put this down for them. They all come running up to me, and they're like going like this, like talking to me, but they weren't talking to me with their mouths. They were talking to me with like telepathically with their minds, but they're going like this while they're doing it. It wasn't like words, it was more like feeling, I guess. But it's like, how you're excited when you talk, so you're like moving, like I do that.
Oh my god, totally. Yes,
yeah.
Oh my god, you're a human being.
So like that's what they're doing, but they're not talking with their mouths. They're like, it's like in, like I knew what they were saying.
It's like
it wasn't
sign
like
language.
their words. Well, no, but I'm not saying like their hands. They're talking with their, like like what they're saying was, it was like I could like read their thoughts in a way. But they're still motioning with their hands, like how we do when we talk. But it wasn't. It was their minds. And I felt like I was excited to see them, and they were excited to see me, like I like knew them or something. And so I'm like, there's a group of them around me, and I'm like, I'm talking to them with my mind too. And then but it's more like not like talking in words, more like feelings, I guess. And then
emotion,
the ramp turns back up into the roof, and we see like it is glass, or like you can like see through it. So then we see these like 3, like it looks like stars coming down, and then as it gets closer, they're also ships, and they land on the ramp, and the ramp goes back down, and then the ships open up, and a bunch of other little gray aliens come out, and they come down the ramp, and that's all I can remember.
Okay, you've just here's a theory. All right. I'm gonna get excited about this. I gotta clear space so I don't knock anything over. All right, check this out. I know you've been to Egypt. I know you studied Egyptiology, Egyptian stuff. And that too, that's what I said. That's exactly what I said. I don't know why you repeated it. But who was the god? It was Ra, the sun god. All right. And we see all those hieroglyphs, and they've got the sun above their head, and they say, we've been told that's a stargate. What if God?
Really? Dude, I've been painting one of those lately. I didn't know that.
Hold on to this. Man, if their secret space program is legit and all this stuff and alien species, then there have been people or creatures on every planet. But if you were a god and you wanted to make sure no one could get to heaven where you're at, what would be the best place to hide? In the sun. because that's the one round planet. I mean, you don't think NASA's ever going to land on the moon, or I mean, the sun. So that would be a great place. Now, you were mentioning canyons, okay? You were talking about canyons, and then they had the glass tops, and that's where they would enter, right? So no solar lava or anything right there. It's structure, right? It was like a mountainish or some kind of
craters. It was at the
natural
bottom of
topography,
craters.
craters. Okay, all right. Let's think of this now. We see the sun. It's this huge ball of fire. When we look up in the sky, we see blue sky. We don't see black space unless it's nighttime. Why is that? Because the sun, we're seeing a reflection in the atmosphere of the ocean, which is blue. What if the oh shoot, Rex Bear is calling me. Hold on a second. Hey Rex, I'm live with Apolla Asteria. Can I call you back in a minute? Can I
League projects.
Yeah, Apolla says hi. We're live on our show right now. Can I call you back in a minute?
Yeah, dude, call me back when you get a chance. I'm in Arizona.
Oh.
And I'm planning on being in Disclosurecon too. So.
Yeah, you are.
Woo.
Yeah, you are. Awesome. All right, I'll call you back after the show.
All right, brother.
All right, thanks. Bye. All right, but nanu.
No.
So yeah, that was right. We're like a really awesome community. We all support each other. We all help promote each other and lift each other up so we can all rise together. That's my motto. But it's a lot of you stand by it, and I love it. All right, where were we? We were talking about
stargates in the sun, gods in the sun.
Yes. So what if these natural structures? What if the sun isn't just a full ocean of lava? What if they have seas and oceans of it, but there's also landmass on the sun, and that's where these beings and grays and all that are using? Because I mean, if you watch sci-fi, they're telling you stuff, they're telling you truth, and they're labeling it science fiction. But what if, like, all these ships that we see coming in and out of the sun, like from Soho satellites and all these?
That's true. Yeah, there's cameras. So much of that. People were catching that during the eclipse.
Yeah. What if the sun is a gas station? I mean, they go into refuel. We've seen those images where there's a big round mass that we can't see, but we can see solar flares being sucked out of the sun and being absorbed by these objects.
I actually saw that on like a mainstream documentary series on like Netflix that I don't remember what series. It was like one, I think it was like that Cosmos series. I might be wrong about that, but they were saying, like, what if, the sun, like, they could use it to power up spaceships, and they actually showed that. And I couldn't believe they showed that on like a mainstream thing.
You probably saw some of it on Third Phase of Moon. It's a little awesome channel that we happen to hang out with. Yeah. Not like my segue. So you can find videos of just what we described at one of the largest UFO vaults online, which is Third Phase of Moon, not the moon, of Moon. And that's ran by our dear friends Blake and Brent Cousins on the big island of Hawaii. That's not how you say it. See, I just sound like a flat.
Isn't it Hawaii? Like Hawaii. I don't know. I might be wrong too.
Yeah, you got to have the right inflection. They'll correct us later. When they'll be here, they'll be at the event. So, and they are. I mean, we've done a lot during the COVID year, when most people were at home sucking their thumbs, going, "Oh, I can't do it. No, entertainment industry's done." No, Blake and Brent Cousins said, "You know what? Screw this. We're going to get a team together, and we're going to blow up and just do this thing right." So I remember they called me. It was right after the whole COVID thing started, and it was like the beginning of the summer. And there was a person, we'll just say, in the fields of ufology that was very high up that got busted. And one of my fans contacted me and said, "Bro, did you know that so-and-so's got busted?" And I'm like, "Really?" So I'm like, looking, can't find anything. So I look up the town where the arrest was made. And of course, on their Facebook page, they had the arrest page saying, "Yes, today we arrested blah, 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 blah." And so I went live that day. and discussed it. And so,
wait, is this the network that started with M?
Yeah,
is that the one you're talking about?
But this is one individual, not the organization. We'll just say, and they will be at DCon. So, it's just a really shitty thing that happened. Oh, can I do that? Sorry,
I don't know. I'm okay with it. I don't know if that is bad on YouTube.
Well, I just didn't want it to get censored. Anyway, it was a very unfortunate situation, and I mentioned, I was like, look, please, folks, just remember, this organization has amazing people in it. This was just happened to be a bad apple. Who's said to be a really great guy and all that, but when what happened, you get out of that category. So anyway, I covered it, and I was very, very what's the word? Gentle with the story, because it had just happened, a few hours before. And then I realized it hadn't, no news touched it for 2 days. And then it went, pfft. Well, Brent and Blake, they called me and they're like, hey man, saw that video. It was really cool. Did you know that you broke that story? I'm like, what? Like I was like wondering why there was nobody else talking about it. And it's like, yeah, you were the first. I was like, holy crap. And they said, we're putting a band together, man. You want to come join us? So I was like, sure, let's do it. Little did I know they were actually going to have a band later down the line, the Third Phase of Moon band. But they brought me on, and I remember the first story we did was a UFO crash. Yeah, I think because there was an area that looked like there was a UFO crash here in town. And so I stood in front of that, and we did the story. And after that, it was like almost every other day, and then sometimes it was like every day for a week. They would send us stuff, and then they brought in Dr. J. I think he'd been with them for years before that, anyway. So he was really the first. And then they had Rich from Goof On, and then Mike from Dark Horse. Crap. I'm stumbling here, Paula. Do you recommend it?
I'm not sure.
Anyway,
either. I'm sorry.
I just know him as Mike. So anyway, they brought in all these people. Then they got Stephen Greer and Dr. Salas and all these others. And then I called you. I was like, dude, we got to have you, because they were asking, we need a woman. We need to have a woman on the team. I was like, I got somebody for you. Apolla. What do you want? You want to do this? And you did it. And now you're a part of the team.
And at that point, I was missing being a part of the UFO community, because, there's no events anymore. I couldn't go sell my spears at events or speak at them. And it was my way of getting back into the UFO community at that point. It made me so happy. I was trying to start my YouTube show, as all that was going on. But I just didn't know how to get the right equipment together, because I'm really.
Oh, you froze. Uh-oh. I'm still going. I move. But you freeze well, Apolla. I will give you that. Hopefully you'll come back here in a second. Well, that's actually, I've seen worse freeze frames. I have. I guess I'm so low on this. Oh no. Oh, there we go.
Oh my gosh. Cool. I need to plug in my Ethernet cable. I don't know. Yeah. I got an Ethernet cable for this thing, and you know what? I think okay. Yeah, I think we're good. But yeah, we might have to wrap this up pretty soon here.
Sinister says, speaking of the right equipment.
Yeah, if anyone wants to help me find my studio, got a little bit more equipment I need to get. So
you did? Someone
order my art.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention earlier, Sinister, thank you for the donation. Much needed. Also, if anyone wants to purchase my art, please do that at shamanspirits.com. All right, sorry, awesome. Keep going.
Well, let's see, where were we? Because I'll tell you, you froze well. I've seen worse freezes.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
I mean, you were like,
what's so funny? I have some friends from they're kind of a part of all the ECETI events, and they started a group on Facebook called Bad Screenshots of David Wilcock. And people, they've been taking screenshots of David Wilcock, and he always has like the craziest facial expressions. So, like, everyone in this group has been taking screenshots of him in his different shows, and then like photoshopping things into it, the image.
Oh, it's like a
like this is one of him like this, and then there's a plate of like lobsters in front of him, and like I don't know.
Well,
people like they haven't been going like.
Apolla.
Yeah.
Laugh now because wait till.
No, like they've been respectful about it, you know.
You know what I'm waiting for, to be honest with you. We've been doing this for so long, some of us, and I'm waiting for the day that they're gonna do a South Park episode on all of us. I think
they already did. They see on me and what I was a part of in DC. That was pretty surreal to see. But I mean, I wasn't in it. But
yeah. It's I think that would be like, we made it.
That would be so cool.
Once you've been made fun on South Park, it's like, can't go any higher than this.
Like I always say, all of us that have been a part of this community, I feel like we're like the pioneers of a movement that's just gonna keep going and going. Oh, and my battery is running low. I actually forgot to bring my laptop cord, so we may have to wrap this up soon here. But anyway,
well, you got another $10 or $10.
Yeah, thank you so much for that.
Yeah, Sylvan Forge. Thank you. You guys are supporting an amazing woman, so keep it up. Yeah. All right, well, before your battery dies and then you get a horrible freeze frame. Yeah, I guess you want to wrap it up. That's a good hour and a half. And we'll do it again. And what we'll do is we'll have all these guests that are going to be at Disclosurecon 2021 with you to be on your show. And then we're going to have you on everybody else's show. And it'll be a cross-promotion extravaganza. I would love that. That would be amazing. Awesome. Yeah. Well, was there any other questions on the list? I haven't been reading all. I apologize. Did they have bases on the moon until recently some races removed them? I don't know. I believe that there's definitely something on the moon. Yeah. So, I totally forgot to bring my laptop charger to the studio because I'm not used to coming here. So, we should probably wrap up here just in case. All right. So it was great to have you on again. I really enjoyed it. And like, seriously, anytime you want to come on, I really like doing the shows with you. So, it would be way cool. If you can think of any other topics or anything. And I hope, everyone's enjoying the new studio. And like I said, over on shamanspears.com, if you want to help fund me getting all my equipment together, we got brass knuckles and organite brass knuckles, in case you really want to align some chakras. Not real brass, by the way. Yeah, organite knuckles. Yeah. Organite initiation key necklaces, organite dagger necklaces, and organite pyramids. So really cool. Excited about that. And you'll probably be able to pick those up at Disclosurecon October 2nd and 3rd at her booth, where you could meet her and get your photo, I'm sure. She likes to get photos. I do. I love taking pictures. By the way, world famous Mike Mahoney, photographer, will be at Disclosurecon. So he can't wait to get your photos. We're gonna have photos of everybody. He's gonna do some really amazing pro photos of all of us together, when we have our day outing and everything. And he's like, is Apolla gonna be there? I was like, oh yes. I make an impression. I really wanted to shoot with him last time, and I couldn't ever really get around to it. I actually wanted to go to his studio and do some. Well, we could do that the day before. I mean, I'm not going to have you guys the whole day. You'll have half a day to do whatever. So cool. And he does amazing work, and he can put you in Barbarella world. So it's awesome. All right, your battery's dying. Yeah. So I will say adieu. Bye to everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight, and thank you, Apolla, for having me on your show. And I will do vice versa with you soon. Awesome. Well, thanks everyone for being here, and until next time on Apolla's Odyssey, over and out. Bye. Bye. Do I hit leave studio or what do I do?